Welcome to the beginning of the month call, you guys. My name is Jerry Cooper, current global expansion team member, and welcome. It is the Do It 24 crew call, beginning of the month. And we have a special guest speaker today. Let me tell you guys, right? Cool thing about Herbalife is when you get in, you meet dope people, right? And I remember when I first met Karen years ago at this mega training in LA. Karen, you remember that? When like we had a couple mega trends, right? But it was my first time seeing it. And this, you know how, listen, y'all know how it be when y'all see people on Instagram, right? You like, it's that person, right? It's them. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, it's them. You know what I'm saying, right? So I was like, okay, that's IMK, right? I think her Instagram may not have been different at the time, but ultimately, it's Karen. So I'm like, yo, I'm finna go say what's good. And you know how it be, like, you don't be knowing how people gonna react, because I was new at the time. Hella nice, hella dope. Like, yo, you follow me? I'm about to follow you back. Like, what's poppin'? Let's take a photo. What's good, right? So one of those relationships where she never fronted me off if I ever seen her at extravaganza. Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? We was just cracking that last extravaganza in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Great energy. And I seen her go on this crazy run this year, right? Came back into the business. I seen her go from get to 2.5 and even 2 cuts a millionaire team. So y'all know what that means. That means she getting busy. So without further ado, we got current 2.5 global expansion team member coming from SoCal, Karen on the call. Let's go ahead and get it. Do your thing.
Whoop, whoop. Okay, well, first of all, I love that introduction. It's crazy because it's like I was literally thinking about that. I was like, dang, like I met you so long ago, and to see like where you are now, like for all of you guys that are on this call right now, like thank you for hopping on. So my name is Karen. First of all, grateful, appreciate you guys for having me on this call for one, because I still be getting nervous. Like no matter how many calls, we were talking about this earlier, like no matter how many calls I've done, no matter how many times I've spoken, like I still get nervous. But it's because it's like my goal is to really get you guys to be at a level where it's like to becoming basically believers of like obviously the business, but believers of yourself, that you guys can kill this business. Because that's kind of like my intention for today. So I do want to start out by saying thank you guys for being on this call. Thank you guys for supporting me, like with my nerves running and stuff right now. I see all of you guys having your tea. So it's like, I'm nervous, but I'm ready to kill it. So my name is Karen. I'm 27 years old. I've been in the business for 9 years. I started the business September 2012. So that's a long time, ago. So I definitely have had the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs of this business. But long story short, like I'm super grateful for it, because I wouldn't have had those downs and then been able to have those ups if it wasn't for the business. So with that being said, like I just want to be authentic. I want to be real. I know that I have a lot of time like to be on the call with you guys, but I do want to open it up towards the end after I share my story, and different tips and tools that I've used like with my team and my organization to allow you guys to really ask those questions. Like I feel like sometimes we have guest speakers on the call, but you guys get off call sometimes and you're like, okay, well, I did want to know this. So please feel, excited. Like literally you guys can ask me anything. So once the calls get open, where you guys can ask questions, please ask those questions. Cause sometimes, your questions are completely different than what I'm going to say, but I do have the right answers for it, or I'm gonna try to have the right answer for it. So again, name is Karen, 2.5 global expansion team. Sounds so dope saying that. I love it. Been in the business 9 years, from Long Beach, California. Grew up on the north side of Long Beach, California. If you guys know, the north side isn't really that good. It's not that good of a environment to grow up in. The reason why I started Herbalife, if I can connect to anybody that's on the call, a lot of people usually get started because of product. People get started because of they want to get results, or they get started because they want to make money. To be completely honest, I started the business because I felt that family, vibe. I felt that support because I don't come from a strong family. I don't have a relationship with none of my parents. So it's always just been me. And I grew up as a natural hustler. Like I was that person. I don't know if you guys seen it on Instagram, that little thing that goes on Instagram that's, if you were selling candy bars in school, like you were born to be a hustler. Like that was really my mentality. But, my mentality back then wasn't the best. I'm still working on it. Every day we get to get better. I didn't know what personal development was. when people were telling me like, oh, like, you need to do this. Like, I was like, what? Like, I need to listen to some video like for 20 minutes. Like, what is that? And, you know, personal development, you guys, is the reason why I feel like I'm where I'm at today. You know, like Cooper said, I call him Cooper. Like how he said, like, I've been in and out the business twice. So the first time I left the business, it's just I wasn't working on myself. So that personal development, that the person that invited you into this call or the person that invited you into the business, like, they really genuinely care about you. Like I said, I didn't have that growing up. So I come into the business where it's like, dang, like, I see successful people. Like, I see people different, you know, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, people that reminded me of me. And it was like, okay, my mentality shifted when I saw people that, you know, come from where I come from and they made something for themselves. Because I grew up being told, like, you're not going to be successful. Like, you're not going to make money. If you guys can see behind me, like, this is like my very first Christmas tree. And I'm so like grateful for it because I remember telling myself, like, damn, like, I want that, you know? So, when I came into the business, like I said, it was mainly for that family vibe. So sometimes you guys will be able to build your business by asking those 3 questions. Like, are you coming in for the business? Are you coming in for products? Are you coming in simply because you need support? And that's gonna help you guys literally distinguish how to talk to your team. Because sometimes we do forget, like, we came in for, like, you know, if you guys can type in on the chat, 'cause I wanna make this like, you know, so I know who I'm talking to. Like, what brought you into the business? And, you know, sometimes it helps us understand you guys better. And that's one thing that I've learned from like my team, like myself, because I was always like, I can't expect people to always come into the business the same way I did. Some people just need the product. Some people just want to, like, they want to make quick money. And then sometimes people just literally just want that support. Like, dang, I want somebody to tell me every single day, like, you can do this. Like, you know, you can make $10,000 a month, which is definitely possible. Cause I remember, you know, seeing a check that was like, you know, $9,800, but, you know, disclaimer. You know, it's definitely a blessing. And honestly, you guys, I feel like a lot of times when you're a guest speaker, and that's why I feel like so open with you guys already, I feel like I can connect with you guys. It's like just being real. Like, if something you don't like within the business, like, tell your upline, like, tell the person next to you, make that like relationship. Everybody that's on this call right now, like, everybody should know who everybody is. Because sometimes we're gonna bring people into the business that you can be like, dang, okay, Liz, like, I'm gonna connect you with Michaela. Or your client, you can connect it with Michaela's client. Like, something like that, because then that literally is giving people that belief and that trust, like, okay. And that's one thing that I learned, like, I'm just honest. And when I came into the business, that was my problem. I wasn't. Like, I was just like, okay, well, you know, I'm like this. I basically had the whole white picket fence story. Like, I never was real. Like, I've been depressed before. Like, I've been suicidal before. And this opportunity has definitely given me that trust and I believe, like, okay, you have purpose here. But in order for you guys to really kill this business, you guys need to know what your purpose is. Because it's like your team needs to know what your purpose is. Like, when I first left the business, it was because I wasn't personally working on myself. I was like, I don't need this. And, you know, just to be entirely real, the second time, I literally just came back into the business last year. I was gone for about 2.5 years. And every single time that I felt down, I always remembered, like, damn, like, there's people in Herbalife that actually want to see you better. I got in a very abusive relationship. And, you know, I'm super grateful that I'm here, like, to be able to talk to you guys today, because it was so abusive mentally and physically that I was like, you know, this is not what my life was meant to be. But this business gives you that power that it's like, especially women, I'm talking to men too, but it's like, you can make your own money. Like, you don't have to depend on nobody. And coming from having my bank account cleared to zero, to coming back into the business, being straight with my team, being real with them, like, look, I'm sorry, I apologize. And that's that trust thing that your team will always have with you. And I told him, I was like, I'm sorry, but I had to go through what I had to go through in order for me to learn. And it's like, sometimes we have to learn the hard way. Like, who can agree with that? You know, it's like, yeah, somebody is going to tell you, okay, you know, I can build like this, and you're going to do the he say, she say. Like, no, tell me the real. Tell me how hard it's gonna get. Tell me how, you're sometimes gonna have those no's. You're gonna have people come out the business. You're gonna have people come back into the business, but you always have to have that open mentality with people. Like, let's be honest. How many people have had people leave the business? So it's probably everybody. And even if you're a client on this call right now, like, is everybody a distributor, or are there client? Yeah. Okay, I'm watching all of y'all. I love this. It's like it's hard. Like, who can agree that it's hard? Like, the business is not easy. Like, you guys hear tab team, you guys hear all these checks and all this money. Like, let's be real, it's hard to get there. We deal with so many different personalities, but that's when the personal development comes in, and that's when you have to really get to know who your team is. And for a while, I literally just thought one way. And I was like, nah, like, I have, people that don't really like personal development, but you can listen to music and that can be personal development. Honestly, that's usually my personal development, is music. So I feel like that's one thing that I've learned, that on the road to get, when I came back, it was probably the hardest part for me because I was still battling depression. And I was still trying to build my business back up, but mentally I wasn't right. So when I came in, I was like, I literally had to tell my team, like, I need you guys to really have my back. And, from having zero in my bank account to my team literally creating accountability chat and them going all in for us to hit our cut at 2.5. Like, we hit 2.5 in, I believe it was June, like, and this was during COVID. So, right now, every single one of you guys can literally write down how much you guys want to make by next year. Like, this time next year, how much are you guys going to make? And you guys better have a big number. Because it's like, one thing that I've always learned, one thing that I've stuck with since I started this business, is like, when you aim high, odds are you're going to fall short of it. But when you aim high, you're going to be close to that short. Like, usually if I aim like 10K, I've been 10K active suit. But I literally aim for, like, all right, 15K, boom, 7,500 done. Like, qualify for everything, no matter what, because that's exactly what we preach to our team. And you guys are not you guys are not gonna feel the full Herbalife way unless you guys qualify for it first. And that's one thing that I always told myself. I was like, yo, like, I want to feel the vacations. Like, I qualified for my very first vacation, my first year of being in the business, because I was like, man, I've never had a passport. But if Herbalife is going to give me the opportunity to travel and to, basically be like, okay, I'm making somebody out of myself. Like, now, I'm just honest with people. Like, Herbalife saved my life, because the route that I was going towards wasn't the best. And Herbalife, the same thing. When I came back into the business after leaving the relationship that I was in, it was always there for me. Like, this is the type of business that you have to have that emotional connection to, but your coach has to know what your emotional connection is. Because sometimes, yeah, we do love the products, but let's be real. You guys can create whatever it is that you guys want around this business, around this business. Like, if your thing is to, like, work out, like, my thing is, like, I was an athlete. So in the college, I ran track, tore my ACL, passion gone. So then now I have to go to school, do something I don't even really like to do. Boom, got introduced to Herbalife. Everything that you want to do, everything that you love to do, revolve it around your business is going to make it so simple for you to want to build that business. Because guess what? Now you're doing it with energy. Now you're doing it with people that it's like, all right, like, this is why you do Herbalife. Like, just be yourself. Like, if you like yoga, create it with Herbalife. Like, if you like sports, like, I know out here in LA, everything's closed because we don't listen, but, wherever it is that you guys are at, create that. Like, if you love, let's say, like, when I work out, I usually like doing the whole sled pulls. I like the resistant bands and the ropes. Like, create something like that, because you're now going to be attracting people that love doing the same exact thing. You can build your business that way. And sometimes it's not always trying to sell a shake. You're literally, what you're selling is yourself. So people are going to listen to you and your belief system. Like, really, how much do you preach that you really love this business? Like, every single day you have to tell yourself, like, obviously meditation has been one of my keys. I used to literally be like, no, I'm not about to sit there and meditate and do the whole, but it's work for me. And, I have a few of my team members on, but like just to see them happy. Like my goal was to always create a business where it's like, there's no judgment. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter you've been in prison before. It doesn't matter like what it is that prefer than like in the business when it comes down to like, okay, I don't want a boss, but I want a boss. Like you have to ask yourself those questions and then compare it. Because this type of business is the type that it's like, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter your background. You create what you want. And I love seeing like my organization because it's like, it's different ethnicities, different backgrounds, because that's something that I've always wanted, because where I'm from, it's like people like me don't make it out. Like I was told by my mom and my dad that it's like, you're going to be lucky if you make it out. I live on the 24th floor of a high rise. And I'm so grateful for that, because I remember having to, share rooms with people I never even met before. But because I had to, when I left the business and I came back, I was like, you know what? This business is always going to be there for me. And you guys just got to be real. You guys got to be like to the point where it's like, okay, like I have to depend on my business. But in order for me to have my business, my team got to have my back. And in order for my team to have my back, they have to know exactly what I've been through. And a lot of people don't really share, like, you're not vulnerable. It's like, and I'm telling you guys, that vulnerability is exactly why we hit 2.5 and 2 cuts a mil. And it does hurt hitting or missing a cut. Like, who's missed a cut before? Whether it's active supervisor, whether you missed it by 2 points, senior consultant, supervisor, but did you guys learn something from it? Like when we missed our cut of mil, it was more of like, okay, where can I get better at? And to be honest, you guys, like I didn't have group chats. Like I didn't have that accountability with my team. It was more of like, I was allowing my upline to handle all of that because I had that fear of leadership. The moment that I stepped into it and I was like, you know what, I need to grow up. I'm not 18 anymore. I can't always depend on my upline to like have my back. So I started doing that extra work, and I actually have it right here. So this is like a list of like so I have it separated. My writing's kind of, bad, but it's okay. I understand. But everybody that, all my soups that, they may not be in the business right now fully, but I'm doing that work for them, where it's like, you never know when they get that check on the 15th, they're like, dang, like where'd this check come from? It's because I'm doing that extra work that I never used to do. So it's like, I'm reaching out to my team's team to allow them to know who I am, and they're gonna connect to you probably more than they connected to the person that brought them into the business. But guess what? Your team, like your team members, the people that have left the business because you're doing that extra work for them, they're gonna see you like, damn, like this isn't just about money. Like she really got my back. So they get a check on the 15th and they're like, whoa, like how did I get this? They send you that text message. They hit you up like, all right, I'm ready to do this. But the whole time you've been working with their people, that now they've developed that trust to you and them. And never de-edify the person that brought you into the business. Remove all that, remove ego, remove pride, like all of that. Once I started removing that comparison and all of that he say, she say, or the, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, or the only reason why you do this is because you want to make money off of me. Like, no, like the goal is obviously I'm going to make money, like more than my team. But the goal is like, you're not making money if you're not helping them make money. Like my check went from $900. Oh no, the lowest my check has gone is $250. And I was like, whoa. And during this time, I was in the relationship that I was in, and you all gotta know your trigger points. Trigger points is mainly, in life and also in the business. Like, what are your trigger points in life and what are your trigger points in the business? And literally allowing your people and even yourself to like, okay, like what like literally just made me upset, and work on that yourself, because at the end of the day, we are in a business that we allow ourselves to either grow or grow out of the business, like, and never do that. Because every single time that I've left the business, I always came back because I'm like, man, there's nothing out there like this. And I know you guys have probably heard that plenty of times, and you guys may not have experienced like the full, you know, you guys are struggling like, man, I keep hearing it, but I'm not seeing it. It's like, but it's there. And, you know, like I said, like my check hit 250. And all I thought about at that time was like, my check hit 250. Not once did I ever say like, man, like, how's my doing? And that's when it really like hit me. I was like, I completely forgot the reason why I came into the business, and it became about money. Because I was like, I was hungry, like I was desperate. But then once I shift that mentality and I was like, yo, like, I don't think my team is like doing that good. And that hit me because I'm like, I remember why I came into the business. So me leaving was more of like, okay, I left the business, but I really came in for the family. So all the people that came into the business and said yes to me, like, it's basically like I just slapped them in the face, like, nah, I don't got you. So that's what hurt me the most. And that's when I really shifted my mentality. I was like, yo, how is my team doing? Reached out to them, apologized. Some came back, some didn't, you know, but I'm super, super grateful, super blessed that I really have a relationship now with every single person that's in my team. And it's something that I still work on daily. You know, some of them are on this call. Like, leadership has always been a fear for me, but I have the organization. It's like, my team is dope. Like, literally, I love my team. Like, it's like you have to see it, but the way you create it is exactly who you are. It's a reflection of you. Like, you guys can create whatever it is that you want within your business. You guys just got to be real with them. And I know I'm like going in, so I know, how much time do I have, by the way? Am I doing good? We good? Good? Okay, dope. I love that. But yeah, like I showed you guys earlier, sometimes writing it down is easier than just like doing it on notes or anything like that. And that's one thing that I've done. I'll send like a picture of it, but I literally have their name and then I have their numbers on there. Sometimes I have like their application date. You guys can see like this one I put done. Like, she actually she was one of my supervisors. She was enlisted. She signed up to go into the Army. So in my mind, you know, as business, us as business people, we're like, damn, like I just lost somebody from my business, but you really didn't. Like, do you know their clients? Like, do you know the people that they've brought in? And you never know that person, because their person left, they didn't really leave. They just took some time off. They just needed a break, you know? So that's one thing that I feel like was a big part as to us hitting 2.5 was me understanding that not everyone is gonna be me. Like, not everyone is gonna, you know, always like do 10K, or not everybody is gonna go ahead and like jump into it and be a 5K-er. But guess what? Of course, I'm gonna keep preaching that, because that's how you start seeing that money. That's how you start seeing that lifestyle, is doing the 5Ks and doing the 10Ks. It's not because we're rushing you to do something because we wanna make money off of you. It's because we want you to really see exactly what we're preaching. And that's how it literally happens. Like Morris on the call, he qualified for his very first promotion. He's been in the business less than a year. You know, and he's my second line, and we've built a relationship where it's like, man, I can call him any day, you know. And that's literally one thing that I've worked on that is brand new, and I've been in the business for 8 years. So every time we're growing, every time we're building something. Another thing that also has helped me being organized, because let's be honest, you know, we start some challenges, we start some little 30-day plans, and how many of us really do finish it? I'm honest, like I started and I kind of don't finish it, but I've kind of made it easier for me. I'm like, okay, how about if I do a 10-day plan, like consistent for 10 days? Okay, I did it for 10 days, you know, may slack off a little bit, do it another 10 days. It's all a mental game that you're playing with yourself. So I'm pretty sure, Cooper, you remember this, you know this, the next level sheet. I'll email it if you guys need it, but the next level sheet saved my life, y'all. because on there it basically has the intention of the day. It has like mind dumps. Usually our mind is filled with so much that we're like, F it, I'm not doing anything today. And last thing I want to do is deal with a client that, you know, is saying that they're not getting results, but they're not doing what they need to be doing. So you literally just block off your whole day. So I will send it because this helped me get to get, and this helped me get to 2.5. I know I kind of share it a lot with my team, but sometimes we got something that really just works for us. You know, everybody has their own thing that works, but literally just try everything that people give you on these calls, because you never know what it is that's going to hit and what it is that's going to click that's also going to help your team. So I hope that that was like, you know, a little bit about me. You guys can kind of feel, you know, access to me. So I kind of do want to, if it's cool, Cooper, like to open it for people if they have questions. Y'all can ask me whatever question you guys want, because I've been in the business for 9 years. So, you know, I got all the goods. So let me know.
Wait, I just want to say before we get to the questions, yo, you was killing that. Yo. Type real quick. Type a 1 in the chat if you feel like Karen was going in just now. Type a 1 in the chat, and type a 2 if you feel like she was going hella in. No, that was real stuff, Karen. I really appreciate that, and I really like the nugget that you said. Herbalife gonna always be there for you no matter what. And the crazy thing about it is there's some people on this call to where they may have came out, came back in, faced certain battles, lost a battle, came back, won the war. Herbalife has always been the constant for them, and even for myself. So that is like, the fact that you said that was like in the back of my mind, like one of them subconscious things. But it's like, how true is that? So that really hit home for me. But if you have questions, go ahead and come up and snap it up for Karen. Snap it up, clap it up, whatever the hell, whatever you want to do. I'll mute y'all real quick. Did it work? Oh, no, it didn't work. Never mind. Snap it up, whatever. Hey, yeah, right, man. Okay, cool. Anyway, other than that, if you have questions, come off of mute and go ahead and do your thing and ask, man. Definitely.
Okay, I for surely have a question. First off, Karen, girl, thank you. My name is Madi. I've been in the business 7 years. I'm at World Team, still trying to get that A in front of it. So having you speak tonight was like life. Okay, so first off, extremely grateful, extremely thankful. And as I tell everybody else, I love the way in which you kept it funky with us. Like, I'm not a fluffy person. I like when you get down to the meat of it. So tonight was just what I needed. Thank you very much. What I wanted to ask you, and for those of us that are a bit older on the team, may probably gonna be like, Madi, you ask this all the time, but I feel like I get a different answer from so many people. And I want to give you the same question. How would you, whether an OG or not in the business, go about presenting the business opportunity to somebody in which it doesn't seem like it's so pushy or that's Herbalife, I heard about it, I don't, you like, how would you go about just solidly just giving the opportunity to somebody and welcoming them into the opportunity, like building your team?
That's actually a dope question, because you know, sometimes like when we're OGs, we're like, man, like I don't kind of want to. We forget, like, when we first started, the way that you got to World Team is exactly the same way that you got to Supervisor. But sometimes, like, as we move up, like, we kind of forget like that excitement within us. Like, honestly, one thing that I've taken in from like people coming into the business, it's like, that's one thing that I'm personally working on again too. It's like, get that fire within myself again. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for this business. And sometimes you don't have to explain yourself to people. Like, they see it, that excitement, all of that. Like, it literally, you don't have to be pushy with people that are meant to be in your business. It may take some time, but overall, like, really what it is like you just being straightforward. Like, look, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for this. And yeah, you may have heard whatever about Herbalife, but you just asked me about it. Or you're inquiring about it to me, and I'm telling you right now, like, the reason why I love this business is because of this. Like, always go back into what got you in that energy that got you the world team. Because sometimes, like I said, we do forget as we go up. And that active world team is yours. Like, you have to literally say it's yours. Like, it's the same thing with like my team too. It's like I have 2 people right now that are on track to being like on going into active world team. One of them, like, her name's Ashley, and she's been in the business with me for like 8 years, 7 years. But that's that loyalty, because it's like, okay, everybody has to go through what they got to go through in order for them to get through or get to that level that they want to get to. So I feel like, honestly, it's just the same thing how you said. It's like you don't fluff nothing. So the person that's going to come into your business, the person that's going to come into organization is going to be someone that relates to that. So I feel like you already got it. Like, think about it. How you got to supervisor is completely different than how you got to world team, but that's your hunger, that's your grind. And yeah, you do probably need to bring in more people and share that thing, share that passion that you have, because sometimes we literally think about it too much. Let's be honest. Like, you know, like somebody, you guys can type 1 on the chat that sometimes we overthink things. Like, you know, just post it. Like, post your lifestyle, post like how grateful you are for the business. Sometimes your next diamond literally is watching you right now. But that moment that you're like, they'll be like, damn, I don't want to do it. So.
Thank you.
I have a question, Karen, or not really a question, just something that you can elaborate on. So for the people that's aspiring, right, to hit the tab team, for the people that's aspiring to get into the 5K, 10K cuts, can you speak about the lifestyle change or some of the things that you were doing from active world team, get team 2.5, and even those cuts millionaire team? Like, what was that looking like for you as far as, like, you know, that paper? Like, you know, go ahead and speak about that a little bit.
Man, okay. You know, I know you guys see me like all uppity and stuff, but low key, this is like it's gonna be emotional, cause, okay. So, hold on, I got this. But first of all, like, the lifestyle change is something that I feel like I've always personally, like, I've always wanted it. Like, I've always wanted to be more than, you know, what I was told when I was younger. And it's kind of like a competition with, you know, my younger self. It's like like I said earlier, like, I didn't really share much in it, so I'm just gonna be like vulnerable. And, you know, like, when I first, like, before I started the business, like I said, I was suicidal, I was depressed, I didn't really know what my purpose was. And it's like I felt like I was like a letdown. And I came into the business, and it's like the first thing I ever heard was from, you guys probably know him, it's Jay Webb, Jonathan Weber. And I remember walking into the club and I'm seeing all these happy people, and I was like miserable, but deep down I loved it. But outside, I'm like, I have this wall. And he was like, you gonna be Lil Prez. And I didn't get what he meant by that. I was like, this dude is weird. Like, what is that? But till this day, like, that was my hunger, to be Little Prez. Like, you know, I may not be so little anymore, but it always got stuck in my mind, where it's like, man, like, I'm so broke right now. Like, people don't know this part, but it's like, when I first got started into the business, my upline paid for my membership. Brand new president's team member, Arsene Alondra, like, you know, RC at the time, he paid for my membership. He was like, I don't know what it is, but I was working at Chick-fil-A, for one. I forgot to mention that, my bad. Chick-fil-A, every time I say Chick-fil-A, they always say the sandwiches and the nuggets and stuff. But, you know, I really did not like that job, because it's like, it's a whole front. Like, you have to act like you're happy, but deep down I wasn't. I was miserable. And it took him 3 months of nuggets and drive-thrus for me to finally become a yes. But the reason why I became a yes was because I saw him come in with his daughter. And during that time, like, I know that you asked the question with like the money, but like the money is attached to like how I felt. So it was more of like, I saw him come in with his daughter, and I'm like, damn, like, like, this time he didn't pay no attention to me. Like, so I'm over here trying to clean the tables around him, like trying to get him to get, like, you know, to have my attention, because I was so used to it. But he was so, like, in tune with having the time with his daughter. And I was like, man, like, this person probably isn't a bad person. And I remember going home that day, and my roommate, because I was staying in the dorms at the time, and my roommate gave me this card, and it was his card. Mind you, I had like a whole bunch of cards in my locker from him. It's like, give it to her, give it to her. And it was just like meant to be type, you know? And I came into the club the following day, and I just felt it. And I was like, damn, like, all right, like, I'm gonna do this. So for him paying my membership, it was literally in my mind. It's like, for him to do something like that, it's like, I'm gonna be forever grateful. Like, and he was like, you'll pay me back when you hit press. You know, and it's something that the money was definitely a lifestyle change for me, because I remember, like, I was messed up. Like, I was gonna go the wrong route. Like, yeah, pretty face, but you could still end up in jail doing the things that I was about to do. You know, and it was just like, it wasn't me. Like, that wasn't what I wanted for my life. Like, I always knew I was smart. Like, I always knew I was pretty. Like, but deep down, like, it's like, sometimes I forget that. So when we hit Active World Team, it was like surreal to me. That was like, okay, dang, a $500 bonus. I'm making about $1,500. Like, I was like 20 making over $6,000. Like, what? 20 years old making over $6,000 a month. And I still wasn't happy, because I felt like I just wasn't in my purpose. And like I said earlier, like, I don't feel like I really tapped into who I am as a woman and who I am as a person till I went through what I went through in my last relationship. It's like, man, I really am a powerful person. Like, I really do have the ability to start from nothing and rebuild it again. But it's not just me now. It's literally my team, my business. Like, I can't express how grateful I am for my team, because I would not be sitting right now being a guest speaker to you guys if it wasn't for my business and for my team, because I was so broken when I left my relationship, like, last year, 2 years ago. Literally in February, I believe it was April 2019. Broke, trying to figure it out. And I remember, like, I was like, man, my check hit 200. So now my check being over $7,000 a month. And that lifestyle switch is more of like, you know, yeah, it's like, it's crazy, because I have to do so many different things now. Like, when you have money, yeah, it doesn't come with that many problems, but, you know, when you do Herbalife, it's a blessing, because then now I get to put into people to go to Tulum in March. Like, that money allows us to really become better for ourselves. It allows us to become independent, not dependent. Like, you know, I don't know a lot of your guys' backgrounds in the story, and you guys definitely are more than free to, like, reach out to me one-on-one, but, you know, because I do want to hear everybody's stories as to, like, your whys and stuff like that, but you always got to get in tune with your why, but sometimes it does change. You know, and my purpose, I feel like what I'm doing now, what I'm making now, like, yeah, the lifestyle is amazing, but I'm not full yet. Like, my team not full. Like, their plates are still halfway full. So it's like, I'm not there yet because their plates aren't there yet. So, but that lifestyle, crazy.
That might have been the nastiest, most heartfelt, most real response we've had on our calls. And I will say, I've spoken on these calls before, Karen, and that was nasty. That was that was nasty. Hey, type a 3 in the chat if you felt like that was the call. That's all we needed right there. That was, no, definitely. I appreciate you getting real. We appreciate you getting real, getting deep, because, you know, as you say, I personally have a problem with being, you know, vulnerable. And the fact that you coming on the call and just being vulnerable, it's like, that's a strong person. So again, grateful for you. Does anybody else have any questions? We got a little bit of time, so if you have more questions, go ahead and just come off of mute if you got more questions. What's her IG? I'll type I'll type her IG right now. But if you have another question, come off mute though.
Y'all better take
Hi.
for real. Okay. I was about to say, y'all better come off mute. Shit.
Got you, Marty. Hi, I'm Will. I'm currently an active supervisor. I've been in the business for about like 4 months now. I started back in, actually that's cap 5 months. I started in like July or June. And I remember you saying that, like, elaborating on like the highs and the lows of being in the business. And I commend you for being very vulnerable on the call. Kind of invited me to be vulnerable. I'm in a bit of a down. I'm in a down. Since I started really hot in the business, and it was cool, and I got it to supervisor within like 3 months or so, 3-4 months, and it was dope. But I'm also a student right now, and I kind of, with school hitting me, I kind of find myself hitting a slump, and I kind of got deeper and deeper and deeper in that slump to a point where like I haven't moved any volume this month, and it's like it's just really, it's complicated for me to. I'm still trying to figure out the groove of balance of school and, you know, Herbalife as well. And it even got to a point where like I kind of lost touch with some of my PMs, you know, like, and it's just like I kind of dug myself into a hole where like I'm kind of struggling on getting out of. Can you give me like any tips how you've gotten out of slumps that you've been in, or any holes that you've gotten yourself into?
Man, so your upline, who is that you? Who? Yeah.
No, Tango's my upline, Marcus Tarango.
Okay. So I know you mentioned school, so I can only imagine how tough that is right now, especially with everything that's going on. But like, even if it's you being on Zoom, like having your tea, your cup, like, you know, getting my energy up while finishing class, like, but to be honest with you, is the same thing like how I have this. Like, write everybody down and, you know, have that conversation with your upline. And sometimes it's like, we're going to have your back to the point where it's like, I mean, I do this full time, you know, so have that conversation with your upline, like, yo, like, I know school is like taking a toll on me, but can you please like help me reach out to some of my PMs, like, you know, keep them engaged with other people. Cause sometimes, to be honest, like, you may be so busy and so consumed with school that they feel like they can't reach out to you. But if you allow them to have access to everybody else around you, whether it's someone that, you know, you really close to, you know, like, but really just letting your upline know, like, yeah, we're busy, but it's not like, it literally takes like 2 seconds to send a text message like, hey, my name is Karen, like, I'm William's, you know, coach, but, you know, I just wanted to reach out, let you know that I do Herbalife. This is how long I've been in the business. This is somebody that, you know, I really look up to. And I just wanted to reach out and let you know that sometimes he may be busy, but I got your back and you can ask me anything that you may like literally not like a robot message, like allow people to feel like, okay, I can reach out to this person. And you never know. Like that person might literally be like, oh, dang, like you really got my back and I know you're busy. So then now their respect level for you has gone up times 10 because you're not leaving them high and dry like by themselves. And that's one thing that I personally like learned from my upline, because it's like he reached out to all my people when I was outside of the business. And if he wouldn't have done that, like I may not have the business that I have now. So always be grateful for your upline, like always have that communication with them. If you guys have anything that, you know, you guys need to work on, like have that relationship with them, because it's like, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna be the people that have your back no matter what. So even you with school, like I can only imagine, like I said, but you got to make it easier on you. Like literally Telegram has scheduled chats now. Like every Tuesday, boom, reach out to all my PMs, send them like a quick message. It literally will take like 30 seconds out your day to like schedule a message, send it to them every Tuesday, or just allowing them to like reach out to people, you know, that are above you that want to see you grow. But if they don't know that, like how you just said, you're being vulnerable, if your upline doesn't know that, how can they help you? You know, so, you know, like I even said, like when I was in college, like I literally would take my cup and put it in like my desk. So right now we're on Zoom. So even on your Instagram, like post it. You know how many kids right now are probably going through it? Like, or anybody that's in school right now going through it. One, because we're doing it behind Zooms, but energy wise, like mental wise, all of that, like people are paying attention to stuff like that. So it literally only takes about 30 seconds of your day to do something that is about Herbalife. Like post about Herbalife every single day, even if it's just a picture, because they want to see you. They don't want to keep seeing the same product or before and after photos that everybody else be posting. That's a little tip.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Damn, Karen, you got people on the team getting vulnerable on the call. They ain't never said it to, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? I like that. You know what I'm saying? A woman's touch is always needed. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate that for sure. Oh, definitely. Does anybody else have any questions? Michaela, go ahead. I see you.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I'm current supervisor. Been on the team for about 5-6 months now as well. And I really connected with you because I also actually joined Herbalife for the community, for the personal development aspect. Something from where I'm from, I don't really get that much. So it was that brought me back. I've known Jerry for about 6-7 years, and he kept messing with me. Come on now. And I finally decided to do it. But my question is kind of more in lines of what have you found to be the most effective in like trying to like, I understand like the authenticity that you mentioned, but also trying to continue to gain clients and gain people that's like paying attention and wanting to like build with you and be a part of, you know, what you have going on. Like, what have you found to be helpful in that?
So just to be completely honest, like all my clients and all like the new distributors that I've had are actually people that I've had relationships with like in the past. So one thing that I'm currently working on is like obviously getting new, but sometimes like we do gotta go back to every single person. Like, let's be honest, like on BizWorks, we probably have so many people on there that we haven't talked to. And, you know, even just that simple message like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about you. Like, I hope all is well. So that's one thing that has helped me is actually just retracing back my steps into letting people know that were a yes to me probably when I first started, and just sending them a message like, hey, I'm still here. Because to be honest, like one thing what one of my clients told me is like the reason I came back, and she actually does the business now, is like the reason I came back is because I literally felt because she had left. She had stopped taking the product. She had stopped doing the business. She was like, but you made me feel like I could have came back because I felt embarrassed that I stopped and I didn't say anything. So think about like that literally right there is a nugget, because so many people feel like they can't come back because they stopped. And even using my story as an example, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, like I felt embarrassed leaving the business and coming back. And literally, like, I felt like I did not deserve that 2.5 pin at the time, but I was like, nah, wait, like, that's not even me. Like, that's my team. So I feel like you being, you know, like, start off by reaching out to the people that you still have kind of access to, that you probably haven't reached out to in a while. Because sometimes, like, we leave the business or we stop taking the products. We don't want to tell our coach, you know? It happens. Like, you know, it's happened with me. It's like, I don't want to tell my upline that I kind of stopped taking the products before I hit get, like, and, you know, it was all bad, but I came back, got back on the products. My coach literally, even with me, for an example, like when I left the business and I came back and I went to my very first STS, I literally didn't get the whole, like, damn, where you been? Or what happened to you? I got the whole, like, excitement, the hugs, the love. Not once, like, it happens, you know? And I finally had to learn, like, okay, I accept it. Like, I'm not ashamed about it to say that I left the business because I came back. Like, I'm so grateful for this business because it's like, it doesn't ever leave you. Like, you may leave it, you may take your little break. So think about how many people may have done that. And that's one thing that I use as my tip, where it's like, that's how, honestly, that was our 2.5 cut, is me just being, you know, like I said earlier, reaching out to them. And for new people, it's literally just how I said earlier too. It's like just being honest with them. I know it sounds so simple and so easy. Like, it's so easy to just go out there and like, okay, say that. But to be 1,000% real is the same thing I tell some of my team members. It's like, are you really doing that work? Like, are you really hitting up 20 people a day? Like, are you really talking about the business? Are you really talking about the products? And like how you said, the personal development. People may look at you weird, so post that personal development. Share your story about that personal development, because the same way that it got your attention, it's gonna get somebody else's attention. And guess what? That's gonna be probably your next diamond. And that's one thing I had to learn, is like share every part of it. Cause I was only sharing, you know, my little family vibe, but some people need the money. You got it, Michaela.
Damn, that's what 9 years sound like. She got an answer for everything. Sheesh.
I hope I'm answering them good for y'all.
No, you going brazy. You is going type of 4 if Karen going brazy. Type of 4 if she's going brazy. So you can see this is not just me, this is the gang. So we got.
She said that she was gonna have the answers, so
right, that's what she
I'm
said.
just saying.
That was
I'm just
bold.
saying.
She definitely got the answers for sure. I'm not mad at her at all. We got time for 2 more questions. So
I have a question for Karen.
Go ahead, girl.
So I'm actually she's my upline. I've been in the business for 5 years. My question for you is, what is your key to consistency? And then what do you do when you are in your feelings that you feel you just don't want to reach out to anyone, you don't feel good in the business, you don't feel like doing anything, like you just want to completely shut everybody off?
Hi, girl. So she's actually my second line, y'all. So I appreciate you being on this call, girl. Support. Is that Robin? Hey, girl. So literally, my feelings, my energy is not always like this. Like, I have my moments. You know, everybody has their moments. Even us as women, we're just emotional creatures. But I literally am doing the whole meditation thing every single morning. I know you guys probably hear this all the time, but I try my best to not look at my phone every morning, because the first thing we do is grab our phones. But one thing that I've learned is I've scheduled the meditation, like the meditation app on YouTube. I've scheduled it to like I basically turn it on, or it turns itself on, and it like puts me in that space where it's like, okay, I may not want to do it today, but there's literally all my team is watching. Like, at one point, it's like, even with your feelings and stuff, like start trying to do like either meditation or, you know, start doing things that you really love to do, like going for a run. Like, type of one in the chat, like even after you work out, even though you didn't want to, you feel better afterwards. Like, you have more energy, like you have more, like, you know, you want to do more stuff. It's the same thing with like your business. And trust me, I'm gonna be honest, if I need a day off, like if I need to take a day off, then I take it. Cause it's like, our mental health is number one. In order for us to grow like a successful business, our mental health is definitely important. And that's one thing that I literally started to tap into myself. Like, your mental health is number one. Your health is important as well, but both together, you work on both of those things, like, you literally will dominate the business. Like, when you're sad, when you don't feel good, like, take a day. Don't take a week. Don't take a month. Just take that day, dedicate it to yourself. You know, women, the self-care, take yourself a bath. Even the men, take yourself a bath. Like, do that and just be like, okay, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. Everything that happened yesterday, but guess what? You took a mental break. Don't feel bad for taking a mental break, because we all need it. Because the last thing I want is to go over here and tell my team, like, yeah, yo, let's do this, we got this, but deep down, I'm not even going for it. Like, it's fake. And the one thing I'm working on is like to really allow myself to always be authentic, to be real. That fake stuff, I don't want that to be in my business. Like, I don't want to build a business like that. So just be real, like, yo, I'm gonna take a day off, but if y'all need me, you know, hit me up. But I'm gonna take that break. Like, a day, trust me, I can't, like I said earlier, like, I suffered from depression before. Like, it's hard to say it, but it's so worth it. Once you like literally do it, you'll be like, man, I feel so much better. And then you're gonna attack the next day with like going to talking to your clients. Even a day. Sometimes you may need 2, and that's okay. Like, don't feel bad for taking that little time off, but don't take too much time off.
You want to grab the bottle? Get the bottle one.
Okay, bet for sure. So I'm just gonna take over for her. She thanks you. One more question if we have it. Y'all coming with it today. Y'all coming with great questions to give great answers. Great questions spark great answers. Just that's a nugget for you guys right there. Any more questions? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. And that is what we call the end of the call.